and welcome to our Taste the Trend Tuesday. We've got some great things cooking up for you today. We start out with Terry Munson with a citrus salmon that is to die for. It's the layers of flavor are absolutely outrageous, and a lot of times we end up doing a lot of the same things with our salmon: a little bit of lemon, maybe some garlic, some olive oil, but this recipe is just a mix of just summer delights. So you're going to absolutely love that. It's a great infusion of many tastes and flavors that all blend together so beautifully. And if you haven't ever tried the citrus salmon, I think it's time you do. But stick around, so you're going to see Terry do that right out of the gate. And once Terry's done, we're going to flip to Leslie Burnett. And Leslie is doing one of my favorite salads. It is an asparagus salad with mushrooms and Parmesan cheese. Just a really, really fantastic salad. Great for summer, great for this time of year. Our asparagus here in Michigan came a little bit late this year, so it's still asparagus season here, but summertime, all year long, we have great asparagus. So definitely you'll want to try that. Then I'll come back with an orange blossom Greek almond cookie, and that's going to be on top of a beautiful fruit parfait, a berry parfait with lemon Chantilly cream. I'm going to make that cream real fast for you, and you're going to be amazed at how quick we can make that cream homemade. So let's go on to Terry. Thank you so much, Terry, for presenting this. I know your recipe already looks fabulous, but show us how you made it.
Okay. So hi, welcome. I have our salmon. This is a blueberry citrus salmon. So I have 6 pieces in the rectangular tray. And the first thing it calls for is to take the EVOO and wipe down. Completely slather them in a little bit of oil. The EVO is awesome for making dressings too, but I've already done that. And now I'm going to add the shallots. And to be honest, I don't use shallots very often. So I took the outer part out and cut the ends off of them and put them in the Eco Chopper, my favorite thing. And I found that some information about the purple on the outside. It's actually high in antioxidants and helps with high blood pressure. And they are low in potassium. So if a person has, a kidney-friendly diet, this is the best thing for them because it's low in potassium. So I'm going to chop these up now 5 times. So then we have them a bit smaller. And just so you can see, and that is going to be added on top of the salmon. So I'm going to do that right now. Just put those all of them get some shallots on there. It smells so good. At the end, I have one to show you that just came out of the oven. That's what smells good, is it just came out of the oven. Awesome. Then we're going to add a cup of white dry wine and our French pantry, which is traditional white balsamic. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in here with the wine, and then we'll just add it together. And it's 2 tablespoons. And you'll find the recipe in the chat box that Eric's provided for you. And we're going to put this all over here. It's going to bake in it. I don't want to stick it on top of the salmon because then all those shallots will go off the top. So we'll get it all in here. This is a really easy recipe. And we eat salmon often. It's one of my favorites. And it's always nice to have a different recipe to try.
Yeah.
And then it does call for the lavender salt. And I really like this a lot on popcorn. There's a lot of things I use this lavender sea salt. And so you can do it after it's out of the oven, or you can do it before it goes in the oven. It's your choice. And the other thing that I decided to use is the Madagascar pepper. because I found that the peppercorns offer a lively fragrance with citrusy zest, providing a refreshing and vibrant twist to the salmon. So we're going to go ahead and add some of that as well. And this pepper mill has lots of choices. And the product guide gave me some real good information about this one, and that's why I chose Madagascar. And then we're going to add some sprigs of thyme to each one of these. Thyme is so refreshing. It's such a great herb. So I'll add this here. And I know my husband's excited to have salmon tonight. Not have enough salmon. Okay, I think we did good. And I'd like to tip it, but I'm afraid that if I tip it, some of the juices will come out. So let me show you what I did earlier. This is salmon that I took out of the oven just before I came on the Zoom call. You add a cup of, now I do have another, it's a cup of blueberries. It depends on how many of these you have. Also, it's the flesh of a grapefruit. And so that's what those orange ones are, is little pieces of the grapefruit. It really smells delicious, and I hope you get to try it soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Terry. That looks fabulous. I'd like to have a fork about right now. Looks great. Thank you for putting that together. I can't wait to see how you like that recipe. I know it's real good. We've had that recipe for quite some time, but I think it's one of those things that sometimes people forget about using some recipes that we introduced in the past. So thank you for trying that out again. Really appreciate that. Great job. And next, we're moving on to Leslie Burnett. Leslie, how's that asparagus salad coming?
I'm excited to try this. I haven't tried this recipe yet, so I'm excited. And I guess I'm so excited because I accidentally cut all of the asparagus. I left these ones because I baked those ones, and I don't know, I was listening to something and I got sidetracked. But I do want to share that you can get multicolored asparagus, and that would be beautiful for your salad. To cut them into 1-inch sizes, so that's about a nice bite size. And when you're shopping, try to get them that are similar sizes. Like, I don't know if you could tell, like this one is so much bigger. So I pulled some of those out that weren't quite the right size. So we've got these so they will bake evenly. So with this, we are going to turn our oven on to 400. And what you will do with the asparagus is you will do a little drizzle of, let me see here, a little drizzle of oil. I have this one for our salad dressing. So let me just do some of this. And this is our extra virgin olive oil from France. So this is made in France. Very tasty oil here. We'll do a little drizzle of this, and then a little bit of the roasted garlic and chive herb blend. And just sprinkle that on there. So the recipe is for a pound of asparagus. I'm only using a quarter of a pound here right now. Also, this called for a little bit of salt to be sprinkled on there. This is the daily grind, and it has 5 different flavors of salt on here. I'm going to use number 1, which is the lemon and thyme, but number 1 is in the second place. So I want to show you how easy it is to switch flavors. So I just took the top off here, and I'm going to take the black lid off here so that I can get it to where the grinder is located here. So we'll take this off, and you'll see that this one doesn't have a lid. So I'm going to put this one on here. So that's how simply you can switch. And I know Terry used the pepper, and that's the same way. We've got 5 different peppers as well. So I'm just going to give a little twist here. By the way, the salt and pepper are both on special for the next couple days, I believe. So if you need to add some flavor to your kitchen, you can do that. So we'll just toss these together and then put this on the bond mat. So if you're not familiar with the bond mat is a silicone and woven glass mat. It can be stored flat, rolled up. You can use a toilet paper roll, a paper towel roll, a napkin ring, whatever. So I've got our small perforated baking sheet. It's got some holes there for some nice even baking. And I've got to put these right on here and roast that. Some of the benefits of Bon Mat are that it's nice and light. Putting things that are heavy into the oven is not fun as you age. And you don't have to grease these and nothing's going to stick. Now you can add some oil to your food if you'd like for flavor. And we've done that tonight. So I'm going to pop this into the oven, or at least pretend I have my oven off right now. And then I have some behind me that's prepped and we'll continue on with this here. Okay, next step. The next thing we're going to do is slice some mushrooms. So I chose white and brown because I had both. I watched a documentary a couple months ago, and they were talking about your microbiome. So every food item for fruits and vegetables and herbs and things like that, nuts, each one counts and is so good for the microbiome in your gut. So we have white and we have brown. So those are two different things. We've got our asparagus, we have some garlic, we've got lemon, all these different things. So we probably have at least a dozen different things that we're going to be feeding our stomach some good food tonight. All right. Okay. So besides the slicing of these, we are going to do some basil. So I put that in the Eco Chop basket. So the Eco Chop is one of our favorite tools. It comes with the basket. It also comes with the blade, and I will use that later. Cherry used that. So I just gave that a pull to dry that earlier. And I don't have any liquid in there because I wanted to make sure it was nice and dry for my salad dressing that I'll be making in that. So to make this, to chop up the basil, you can just stack the leaves on top of each other. And these ones are teeny tiny. So we will do that and then give a little twist here, roll it all up. And then you can simply chop it that way. There we go. So that's quick and easy. Let's see what the next thing is we need to do. Let's see. We are on to the dressing. So I'm going to use the Eco Chop for the dressing. So the Eco Chop has, let's see, it has some blades here, and then it also has this scraper on this side. You can put it on the proper way by knowing this is going up and this side is going down. So it's kind of like two hands. There you go. So we're going to put this inside our basket. I am going to add, I think I need my garlic for this. So I'm going to do my garlic in the mini chopper first, in the mini herb deal here. This one, you just simply put your garlic in and give it a twist. By the way, this is another special, the cheap choppers, $49. Good deal. You can do it this way, or you can roll it on the camera. But it's just quick and easy. And this is a fun thing. If both of them, if you have a helper, they will love to help you do these fun little things. All right. I've got my mini set of two spatulas here, my handy little mini thing. All right, let's toss this in here. And let's see what else is on my list here. So we need some lemon juice. So I've got my lemon. You can give this a roll on the counter. Then when you're going to juice it, you want to cut it in half this way. This way would be for some slices. So we'll give it a cut here. And I'm going to grab my citrus press. This has the holes on this side for juicing it. So I'm going to put my lemon down like that. So the juice, of course, will come right out of it. So this is a tablespoon of juice. So we'll just give it a squeeze. That's probably good. You can always change the ingredients and add up more things if you would like as well. All right, so we need a tablespoon of balsamic. We're using the traditional balsamic, the seed mud. And we're making the dressing right here in the Eco Chop. It's so fun to do that. All right, put seeding up next. We need the herbs de Provence mustard. Okay. All right. I wondered if I should open this ahead of time. All right, here we go. Such good flavor for all of our food, French pantry products. All right. I encourage you to try them all. They're so tasty. All right. Let's see. Do I have everything? Garlic. Okay. The oil, we're going to wait until I mix this up first, but I think I have everything. Let's see here. Checking my notes. Okay. Let's give this a whirl. Here's what we have so far. It already smells good. All right, so this is what we have. And now we're going to add the oil. And if you were going to, make this later, I wouldn't add the oil until you're getting ready to do it. Or if you make it ahead of time, go ahead and give it a whisk so that everything is still working together nicely. All right, we'll add that there. I can have a little bit of a mess here. And then just continue pulling on him. So that's how quick and easy it is to make salad dressing with your Eco Chop. All right, for this, what we're going to do is grab the roasted asparagus. Does some it look beautiful? You roast it at 400 for 10 to 15 minutes until it's a little bit crispy, tender. We'll add it here. So you can pick this up if you would like. Let's see how I can do this live. All right, we're just going to pick it up and do that. Give it a little shake. There you go. All right, so we will add half of the dressing to the asparagus. Right. Give that a toss. Right. And then, let's see here. We're going to add the mushrooms and the basil, and add the rest of the dressing on each spot. Let's see here. So we'll mix that and then layer it on top of our asparagus. I'm super excited to eat this tonight. Usually I make everything ahead of time, but I don't know. I guess I was just busy the last couple of days. So, all right, we will layer this on top here. And then the next steps would include adding a shave of Parmesan, adding grated Parmesan. You can also grate some fresh or zest, some of that lemon on there. I love this handy little zester. Oh, and our lemon salt too, if we want to do that. Let me see where mine go. Let's put some of this on our plate and see what it looks like. All right. Are you guys ready to eat? I'm ready to take a bite.
Yes, it looks so good. Wow.
Bon appetit.
Thank you, Leslie. That looks lovely. I wish I was eating that right now again too. That's a fabulous salad recipe, and it's great for, this time of year. A lot of times people are having graduation parties, baby showers, weddings, whatever, and a lot of backyard picnics. That is a great salad because as long as you don't overcook the asparagus, and I like them still to stay a little bit crunchy, because remember, they're going to marinate in that dressing until it's served. And if you serve it immediately, it's going to be the crunchiest. So definitely keep that in mind. But beautiful presentations. Thank you so much, Thierry Munsey and Leslie Burnett, for the fabulous job that you do, and for certainly partnering with me on the Taste the Chun Tuesday. So now that we've had our salmon and we've had our salad, don't you think it's time that we make some dessert? I thought, what would be a fairly healthy dessert and how could we mix something up that is a bit healthy and also refreshing for the summer months because of the heat. I heard that it's going to be one of the hottest summers, at least in Michigan. It's going to be the second or third hottest summer on record, which scares me because it will be so humid. Maybe you'll be luckier on the West Coast, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make orange blossom Greek almond cookies. And my brother-in-law is straight from Greece. And of course, he is obsessed with cookies. My sister Emily, who is here, thank you, Emily, for all your help, always, every Tuesday. Definitely, she's the cookie baker. So anytime I make a great cookie, I feel really proud of myself. So I've done 2 different recipes. One was a straight Greek almond cookie, and that was done with almond flour. And I'll show you those are the smaller ones. The second one I did was with the orange blossom and done with regular all-purpose flour. And this one that I'm doing, we won't probably see them come out of the oven, but this one that I'm doing, I'm using King Arthur's gluten-free flour. So I want to have all different variations. And I do exactly the same thing in the as the recipe calls for this gluten-free flour. However, I put in 2 tablespoons extra of butter. And my sister has baked forever. She's the one that got me to love cookie dough before it's even baked, actually. I always have to have a taste, no matter what. But her cookies are fabulous. Her baking is incredible. And just playing around with it, she said, as long as you add 2 tablespoons or a tablespoon or 2 to any cookie or cake batter, you won't even be able to tell that it's gluten-free. But if you don't do it, you definitely have that grittiness. So there's something to be said for butter. Hey, why not more butter? Julia Child's always said more butter. Butter is the love of life or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but I know what she meant. So the first thing I'm going to start with is actually our butter. We have 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons of butter. And it is softened. It's been out pretty much most of the day. And you want to make sure that that is the case. And I've also got a 3/4 cups of the sugar. So I'm just putting these 2 in together, and then I'm going to mix them on a medium. I'm going to start at a lower speed, and I'm going to mix up to medium speed. And we want the dough. Sometimes it will, with the sugar, it will get maybe a little bit. If it looks like it's curling a little bit, it's perfectly fine for this recipe. So we're just mixing this up, and I'm going to stop it for a second and beat down the sides of the bowl, which I've used my spatula already, so we'll shoot it up. And I just want to do that to make sure that everything gets mixed up really nice. I usually wipe this off with the beater because we know where that's going. Again, I'm just going to beat it for about 1.5 minutes. And in the meantime, I'm going to get connect the ingredient. I'll just do 1 more at the higher speed. Look pretty nice though. And then I'm going to beat in the egg and the vanilla extract. Ooh. And our vanilla. We're just going to make sure this cream's all together. We're also going to put in the orange blossom water. The orange blossom water looks like this. Oops. This is by Nelson Macy. They make incredible baking ingredients. If you haven't ever seen their ingredients, I do suggest you check them out. You can buy them online. You can buy them on Amazon. I always make sure to I buy the best baking ingredients because I want to make sure that my bakers taste good, because I can bake and I can bake some really good things, but I'm not like a professional baker. And I want to make sure that if I make a little mistake, that I've used the best ingredients and maybe you won't be able to tell, right? I was really surprised how beautiful these cookies turned out. And I did a couple things like using a larger scoop than a 1 tablespoon. I used a 2 tablespoon scoop. See, you can see this is just a perfect mix, and you can see that it's a little bit liquefied here. That's absolutely fine. The next thing that I'm going to add in is the almonds. And this is 1/2 cup of almonds. You could use the almond flour, but I think it's really nice when you have those chunks of almonds in your cookies. You could also use blanched almonds and you could roast them, but I took a shortcut. I used the sliver almonds because I really love the way they taste. And I wanted everything to kind of be the consistency of things being rather soft and not hard. And I didn't want it to be like flour. So you can see the consistency of the dough. The almonds, instead of acting as oil, they've acted a little bit as a powdered flour would, where it absorbed a lot of that liquid. And you can see that this is fairly well mixed. So one thing we want to make sure of is that we don't overmix this batter, because remember, we're going to add in the flour now, and we're going to do it in 3 parts. And when we add in the flour, this is the flour, the baking soda, and the salt. I used unsalted butter. So it's important, if you use unsalted butter, you want to make sure that you use the salt in the recipe. If you're using salted butter, you can forego the salt in your recipe. It was only a pinch of salt. So we're going to put 1/3 of this in, and I'm going to put it in, and then I'm going to restart the mixer. It's okay if you still see a little bit of flour. You don't want to overmix this. So as soon as you see that it's partially done, like that, it's not real creamy. You could see a few pieces of flour and some on the very bottom. It's okay. I'm going to put another 1/3 of this in. Start out slow, otherwise you have a shower of flour. You know, you've all seen me do that before. A little bit quicker, okay? Then we're going to pour in the last amount, and usually I do it on both sides. I want to make sure that it's evenly distributed around the bowl. It's pretty good. I'm just checking. I'm going to scrape down the sides. This is the last turn in the mixer. You can see that the dough is just a beautiful dough. When you pick it up, we're just folding most of that flour in a little bit. I want to really, I do want to mix a little bit more. So I am going to this on a higher speed. There's no flour loose in there now. So I'm just going to do this really quick for under 1 minute. It's about 20 seconds. And the dough looks perfect now. I'm going to get my other wonder spatula here to clean this off. Now this is good. Using my left hand, I can do that. Okay. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to move the bomb mat over here. And we are going to scrape this all into the middle. This makes quite a few cookies. Like, it's surprising how many cookies it actually makes, 20 to 30 cookies, depending on the size. So I think about 20 cookies if you use the largest scoop. There are 2 scoops that you could use. One is this size scoop, it's about 1 tablespoon, and one is this size scoop that is about 2. I know it looks bigger on the camera, but it's not that big really. Let's see how we get in the camera here. Okay, so we have this scoop, and what we're going to do is we're going to get the bond mat and bring it over. There are a couple different things that you can do here. You can scoop this with the 2 tablespoon scoop. So we're just going to scoop it like this, and we're going to set it on the bond mat. And I try to do like a clean edge, but don't worry if they don't look perfect. It's fine because we're going to roll them in our hands after we get them in here. So this is just about 2 tablespoons of batter. If you want smaller cookies, which I'll show you some, we can do that too. Move my bowl over towards me, it's easier. So once we do this, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to pick up the balls, pick up these scoops of dough, and we are going to roll them in our hands. And if you're not used to like working with dough, the best thing you can do is practice makes perfect. The more you work with dough, the more you understand how you want that texture to be, how it should feel, how it should look. And actually these cookies look pretty good. I think that they're going to be really great. Just like the ones I made earlier today, except I did not use gluten-free flour. You do one more row here. So we'll have, these are the larger cookies, so definitely we're going to have 20 cookies here, and if we did the smaller scoop, we'd have 30 or more. So what I'll do is I'll actually start with this, as all like those miscellaneous lost souls in the bottom of the pan. But what I'm going to do is just take this and I'm going to roll it like you would like a pizza dough. Okay, I've got a fairly good circle here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten it with my hand. I'm going to put it right in the middle and palm of my hand. I'm going to press down a very little bit, and there's my cookie. And I'm going to do that with every one of these cookies. You want to make sure if it's not totally round and loose on the bottom, you want to kind of push that dough back into its partners, into the cookie. This one is good. You can just, don't worry, this is not like you're not ruining it. This dough has not risen or anything. It's not like bread. You can make sure that it's all coming together. And when you roll it, you'll know when it rolls perfectly and it's not sticking at all, you know for sure that this is pretty good. Then press down, and you're only going to press it until you feel like it's made a different shape. You don't want to press it incredibly flat. And if you press it really flat, you're going to have a flatter cookie like the ones that are actually in the photo. And usually if you have flatter cookies, that also has to do with the amount of butter that you put in the cookie. If you want really flat cookies, you could put a little bit more butter and they will be flatter. These aren't that flat, and then this is the way we like them. It's very, very simple. These cookies don't take long to make, and they're very, you know they're homemade when you eat them. They're, you know for sure these did not come from a store or even the local baker, because you generally don't find these great cookies. I love to make things that are different, and to serve, this is perfect on top of the parfait. And it's like, it's perfect for serving guests. If you have guests coming for dinner or you have someone coming for brunch, you have someone coming for breakfast or someone at your house for breakfast, just making a simple parfait. And what I'm going to do with the parfait is I'm going to use Greek yogurt and the Chantilly cream, because we don't want somebody to eat an entire half a glass of Chantilly cream, do we? Because, well, we would all love to do that, but we may be sick if we do that. So we want to make sure that we don't. So you got the idea of this, and I'm just going to continue. Then we bake these in the oven at 350 degrees for 20 minutes. But before we do that, we are going to brush. And unfortunately, I brought my Bon Cook pastry brush up north because I was making some things that I needed that for. I didn't have one there, so I am stuck with a pastry brush that was given to Bon Cook as a trial project. Well, needless to say, it didn't win the award because that's not the pastry brush we use. First of all, I don't like wooden handles, but that is the one I'm going to have to use today. So do forgive me. If you haven't ever used our pastry brush, you're going to fall in love with it like I did. Most silicone brushes do not hold on to the oil or the egg white that you brush onto something. But our pastry brush, even though it is silicone, things adhere to it, and it's quite amazing. And it all has to do with the positioning of those actual bristles. So, and they are silicone bristles, but the way they position them, it will hold them, but it won't hold on to them, so it doesn't release. It holds them and releases them as soon as you move the brush. It's absolutely amazing. So if you don't have that, I definitely think that you should try it. Try it out. These remind me when I look at these, when I'm just making them, they remind me so much of how pecan sandies looked. And I thought if I was doing pecan sandies, I could probably switch out the nuts and they would be pecan sandies because we'd use pecans and we'd use the butter and the sugar the same. So just want to show you, just really simple to do, takes no time at all. The next thing that we're going to do is brush the egg white, not egg yolk, egg white on top of each one of these cookies. We have one more over here that needs my help. You can see it's really simple to do. If you feel like your edges aren't round enough, you can play with them. You don't have to, because quite honestly, when they cook, they all turn out perfect. So here we have the egg white, and I'm going to brush egg white on each one of these, and I'm not going to do it all at once. I'm going to do these 6 in this row, and then I'm going to sprinkle the almonds on top. But before I do that, I don't want all of the almonds large and chunky, so this is 3/4 of, a fourth of a cup of almonds. And I'm just going to chop these in the Eco Chop. I love it. So you can see that there's still nice pieces here. And I'm not a person that likes to fuss over a cookie. I just want to sprinkle this on. The reason that you put the egg yolk on is because you want the almond to stick to your cookie. So this is what I'm doing. I chop them and I make sure that every cookie has a little bit larger piece too. So once you put the almonds on, you're just going to pat it down a little bit. And don't worry, if some fall off, it's no biggie. And some people like a lot of almonds, some people like a little. It just gives your cookie such a beautiful texture, being that there's almonds inside also. So we're just going to, sorry, this cookie looks rather large, that one. Okay, these are good. So I'm going to repeat with the rest of these. And I'm just going to quickly, for time's sake, get on with it. And then stick them in the oven, and they're going to cook for anywhere from 18 to 20 minutes. If your cookies are very large, you're going to see when they look a little bit golden brown on bottom, you'll know that they're ready. But the other thing you want to remember, always, always, always have your egg at room temperature. Have your butter at room temperature, softened. And always rotate your pan halfway through the baking of the cookies. because otherwise your cookies are going to be browner on one side than the other. And earlier today when I made these, I thought that I had like 4 minutes left because my temperature was off in my oven from the way I set the timer. Okay, long story. And I went back and I'm like, wow, there's 20 minutes and they're not done. So I just turned the timer off and I thought, okay, I'm going to leave them 4 more minutes. Well, that was about a minute or two too long. And the second batch, they got a little bit dark, but I tasted them. They taste really good. So if you like toasted almond, you would want the darker ones. So depending on how you make them, I didn't burn them. They're just a little bit darker. So these are just about ready to go in the oven. I'll pat these down. Some of the almonds will probably fall off, and that's absolutely fine. Get this last one here. This is why I love the Eco Chop. You ever need something just a little bit chopped, just finely chopped? Oh my goodness. Look at how much time it saved me. I would have been standing here placing the almonds one by one. I do not want to take the time to do that. I'm not good at weeding the garden. I can plant, but I'm not good at weeding. It's too tedious for me. Okay, you can see these beautiful cookies are all ready to go in the oven. And I'll show you the plate that we've already got done. I'll set my timer because I may forget. "20 minutes exactly. I'm going to wash my hands.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you ready to see how these cookies turn out? So beautiful. So here we go. These are the gorgeous cookies. And these are the orange blossom cookies, the ones I just made. And these little cutie patooties, the little ones are just the Greek almond cookies. They're called piped Greek almond cookies, I think on the website. But the dough is a little bit thick and it was fairly hard to pipe. So I actually ended up just using the scoop for them. So I will change that also in the recipe. But these are made 100% with almond flour. This one, almond flour. These are made with regular flour. The other cookies made with regular flour. Okay, these are the regular flour. And then the ones we just did, the dough seemed like it had a perfect consistency. And that one is made with gluten-free flour. But do remember that these small ones are also gluten-free. So next, I'm going to bring you to the parfait. What fun are we going to have here? Okay, I have a cold bowl. This was in my freezer, but I got it out before the class, so it's not as cold as it was. And I have berries. We have strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries. Move the mixer out of the way. There we go. And then I'd like to show you what we're going to do now. I guess I can do it over here. And we are going to use 1 cup of whipping cream.
Hey.
So I don't think everyone knows that, first off, whipping cream, if you make whipped cream, if you say I'm making whipped cream is only with the whipping cream. Chantilly cream is when you sweeten it or put vanilla in it. So generally people are always making Chantilly cream because people are sweetening it. But if you haven't tried it, it's amazing how good the cream is if you don't sweeten it as well. So I have 1 teaspoon of castor sugar. I love using caster sugar for baking because it's extremely fine. It's like powdered sugar, but it's not as intensely sweet. And it's a really beautiful, beautiful sugar. So this is Chantilly sugar. Put 1 tablespoon in, as we have 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And then I'm going to grab the whisk. Now, normally I would use my mixer, but I've already used that. I can use a mini whisk, but I'm going to use something heavier than that to begin because I want this to whip up really fast. So the bowl is really cold. And I'm also going to add a little bit of lemon zest in here to get the lemony taste. So we're just putting about 1/4 of a teaspoon of lemon zest. And we are also going to put in 1/2 of about a tablespoon of juice of 1 lemon. And this here. And this is where we're going to get all of that beautiful mixture of everything that we really love for it. You can see that this is already starting to get a little bit heavy, which is interesting because you would think, wow, how is that going to form into what she said? And you just keep doing this until it is the consistency that you want it to be. And putting it in the mixer, of course, it comes up much faster than it. Watch go quick. Oh, it's cold. You always want to get your bowl cold from the freezer ahead of time. And it's probably good if you get your whisk cold as well. You would recommend this. Because now that I've already started this, I have a lot more control with the lighter whisk. So I'm just going to do the same thing, and I'm going to keep whipping that. You need a little bit more whipping cream. Now you don't have to do it by hand. You can do it actually in the mixer. It's really, really fast. Well, 1 to 2 minutes. But I'm doing it by hand. I don't mind. Workout for the day. If you don't use your whipped cream right away, you want to make sure that you definitely want to make sure that you keep it really cool. I can see the bowl's getting really warm. It's not a good sign, but that's fine. You can see that it is becoming thicker, but it's definitely not thick enough. It's not ready for the parfait yet. Of course, when you're on camera, this is what happens. I did put quite a bit of liquid in here too, so just being cognizant of that. We'll put a little bit more cream. It actually calls for 1 cup of the heavy whipping cream. This smells so good. You can smell it. Smells of lemon, vanilla, everything really coming together. It smells great. And if it doesn't turn for me, I think I'm going to have to put it on the mixer go here. And while I make the parfait, you need to wipe these. And this bowl isn't the bowl actually that goes mixer. Sorry, so this has a little bit more dough and shut. It's gonna run away. I don't think. This is what I do. So I don't make a mess over here. I'm gonna trim that up a little bit. Go ahead and cut that foot. I'm going to start. Okay. Okay, I'm using two dock glasses for the parfait. And what I'm going to do with the parfait is very simple. Okay. Through bottom, about 6 or 8 raspberries on each one. I'm going to cut a scoop of yogurt. And then I'm going to put some strawberry with blackberries inside. We want to do at least 6 because they fit perfectly in a rod glass. Okay, then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the cream and pull it. This looks great. Oops. There you go. Looks really nice. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to do another layer with the yogurt. We're going to take 2 spoons of the whipped cream. We're going to mix it up with the yogurt. So you start on the bottom. It's very natural. We're going to put a scoop of this here. And here. And then we're going to top with the strawberries. I just layer 6, 6, 6. It's the best way to do it. And you can stand them up, you can lay them down, you can cut them in slices, you can leave them larger, whatever you want to do. I'm going to do a couple more here. I like to see them through the glass. You can't see them that well. And then I'm going to take a piping bag and I'm going to put some of the cream in here, not with the yogurt, just the whipped cream. Because this is now sweet on top. It's going to go perfect with our cookie. So it's partially healthy. Not that much sugar in here. Remember that I only put 1 teaspoon of sugar in the entire thing. So we're going to pipe this. And if I were doing this for summer dessert, I would definitely make sure that I have this really cold. It's warm in my house. I have the oven on, and it's not cold enough to have the air on, but it's getting kind of too warm. It's humid, that's why. And let's just pipe this here. Okay, then we're going to take one of our cookies, and we could do the small cookie and place it on top, or we could do a whole cookie. I think it looks better with the small cookie. Perfect. Now we take a little spoon. Heaven forbid I use these. We take these little spoons, we stick the spoon in, and we're ready to say, bon appetit. It's time for dessert. So I hope that you enjoyed these great recipes tonight as much as we did preparing them for you. Many of these items are on sale, and I'm sure that they put that into the chat. And if you'd like to learn more recipes, continue coming to our Taste of Time, but also whoever is selling in your area or invited you to this call, they can actually do a presentation just for you and your friends, either a cooking boutique online or a cooking boutique offline. And definitely check out the sale items. And if you want any of the recipes that we've used on this class, the larger cookies are the Orange Blossom Greek almond cookies, and the smaller ones are the piped Greek almond cookies. So just keep that in mind and moving forward. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining in tonight. Leslie, did you have something you wanted to share?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, and anyone else? Any questions we need answered? Okay, well, I think we might just skip dinner and eat these parfaits for dessert and dinner both, right? Have a great night, everyone. It was great to see you, and we'll see you next Tuesday. And next Tuesday is Thai night. So if you've ever wanted to make a fresh roll, I'm going to teach you how. We also have a nice Thai salad and mango sticky rice, which is a beautiful complement to any Thai meal. So thanks, everyone. Have a great night. We'll see you again soon. Next Tuesday, Taste the Trend. Bye-bye.